Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Xander.
And welcome to Supposedly. This is a video series where we're exploring the myths and realities of sustainable product development.
And today, we're going to talk about the power of remanufacturing. Supposedly, factories only make new products, and once the product leaves the factory, it's never going back. It's only going to live one life.
And that means that when I buy a product, I'm contributing to the depletion of the Earth's natural resources.
And we've been wondering, what if longevity was baked into the DNA of every product we buy?
Right, what if a product could have multiple lives? I could use a product and then give it a second, third, fourth life.
So thinking about longevity in product development led us to think about really like, what does remanufacturing mean?
Remanufacturing is an industrial process where we take something that's already been sold and used and then often broken and give it a new life. Basically restore it to an as-new condition, and actually it can even be guaranteed to act and function like a new product.
Some ways we might be familiar with this already are refurbished products that you might be able to buy online as alternative to new. They may even come in the original packaging. I'm wearing a jacket that the zipper broke, and this is maybe closer to repair, but it had to go back to the factory to have a new zipper put on.
Yeah, and this jacket, actually, if they take a couple of those jackets, they can upcycle them, which is a form of remanufacturing, into a new product like this vest. This is made from multiple jackets like yours that had an arm ripped off or something like that. So this is really a unique one-of-a-kind piece.
And so there are these objects in our lives. I'm thinking of the stand mixers that have been passed down for a couple generations within a family, where the longevity is really baked into our emotional connection to the product, but also they're designed in such a way that they can be taken apart and rebuilt.
So what are some of the hurdles of remanufacturing? I think for us as designers, we need to design our products in a way that a factory can reasonably take it back apart and put together a new one, because we can't be using adhesives or glues or tapes or any of that stuff.
Disassembly is key. And we also can't be changing the design every year. If we make 3 slightly different versions of the same thing, the factory's never going to be able to accommodate all the different varieties that'll come back in for remanufacturing.
Yeah, we have to reacquaint ourselves as a society with the value of longevity, with the value of something that lasts. We become used to expecting everything to be new and fresh all the time. There's so much that's great about seeing a patina of use on something, an old favorite, something that I want to cherish and pass along.
And we might actually be able to get some refurbished things for much cheaper than buying it brand new. Yeah. And maybe a company is able to sell the same product not once, but 2 or 3 or 4 times and actually profit multiple times off the same core hardware.
When we remanufacture something, we're not just replacing the things that are broken. We're actually also going in and doing a complete overhaul. All the parts that are going to be worn over the use of a product, we're going to replace all those parts so it becomes as good as new.
And so it is a much more intensive process than let's say replacing a cracked screen or swapping out a battery. It's a much more holistic process, but I think our expectations can be higher of what we're getting out of that investment, is really building a second product.
Yeah, and the businesses can leverage the expertise and the equipment that they have in their factories. They're perfectly positioned to do this rebuilding. You know, they've got all the tools right there, so they're the ones to be doing this.
We've talked in prior episodes about recycling and the ways we actually aspire to do even better than making our products as recyclable as possible. And remanufacturing is one of the first ways we can start to think in a more circular way about the products we make, because remanufacturing takes this whole remelting step out of recycling. Recycling's great. Think of how great we tell each other that recycling is. Remanufacturing is one quantum leap better than that.
It is better. It's a tighter loop in the circular economy where we're using less energy to accomplish it compared to recycling. Yeah, exactly.
We're working with clients who are interested in building these sorts of business models and around the products we're designing with them. And we're really inspired by companies that are already finding ways to do this. I'm thinking of On Running, for instance, who are taking running shoes and actually trying to disassemble the whole shoe and remake other shoes around products that have already had one life, make a second and a third product from that.
Yeah, and what I'd love to do is for us to sit down with our designs that we created and think, okay, with the next iteration, let's start from where we already left off, so that we can preserve a lot of those components as we move forward. We'll make it better, but we want to stay with those pieces that are still working for us.
So the opportunities we see in remanufacturing come with some challenges that we're trying to address as well. thinking about the longevity of some of the core hardware that we're building the product around so that it can last for multiple lifetimes.
Exactly. We have to be thinking about that from the outset. Normally we come in and we say, okay, we have to design this to last 5 years, So we pick a screw that only needs to last 5 years, but actually we should be thinking longer than that. So when we specify materials as engineers, as designers, we need to pick those things that are going to last multiple generations so that we can reuse those parts to remanufacture new goods.
What if on a bill of materials, the list of all the parts that are in a product, we specify which ones are designed for 1 life, which ones are designed for 2 lives, and which are designed for 10?
I love that. So, today we kind of expect that manufacturers are going to aim for planned obsolescence. That is, I buy a piece of hardware, and that hardware only supports an operating system for so many generations. And then I have to go get a new piece of hardware.
And perhaps instead of obsolescence, we can start thinking of planned longevity and actually build some of these remanufacturing principles into everything we build. And in subsequent episodes, we're going to talk about other ways we can actually even tighten that loop of circularity even further by talking about things like repair and reuse that you can actually do at home.
Yeah, so stay tuned for the next episode. And in the meantime, please leave your comments. We love to have conversations with you, and we've really been enjoying that. So thanks, and until next time.
Bye for now.